You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
welcome. My name is Andrea Murnik. Many of you know me. Some people you just seen is here, participated to the first workshop we made at Reality Identification here in Ljubljana. And this workshop was meant to start to make a kind of research on going deeper inside what we, as a group that is called NisemTu, Slovenia, I'm not here, we were investigating a long time before. Personally, I suppose that right now we're almost 40 years long. It is connected with creativity, but not with the general sense of creativity, but how to manage it, how the methodology of creativity to become able to manage it. And normally I make lectures, workshops, and I'm invited in faculties or academies and so on, and we make some courses, some lessons. But in this case, of course, I didn't want to make this. I like to show, especially to the many friends I have, that they don't know precisely what I'm doing. And also, of course, to other people, I like to try to show what it's enthusiastically for us finding in this research. But in this case, as I said, I will be helped more by videos, music. I will try to talk as few as possible, just shortly some theories. And I have another help, that is my personal Greek core, classic core, commenting and underlining things. All of this was based on the fact that I was trying to find what is as deep as possible inside all of us and in common with all of us. The only way of communicating with us, we will see better why I'm saying this. So, as many of you know, I was living all my life long. I was born and living in Milan, in Italy. But then I decided to come in my motherland, because here is my family, here is my origin, 100% Slovene, pure Slovene. I was also in Triglav. I wanted to have this contact and relation with motherland, with mother in the most based sense. So I said, okay, mother, classic, ancient things, so why not a Greek core? And so I have here my helper, and I would like to ask what the Greek core thinks about this opportunity, because we didn't talk so much, we couldn't, had no time so much to organize everything. This was the answer.
Mother.
Don't go any further. I know what you're thinking, Liddy, and forget it.
How can I forget it? The thought's been put into my head.
Well, but I am hard enough, and so I insisted. And now let me introduce Silvia Viviani, my best theater actress, very well known. Now you will see a short footage of her main parts when she, and so I'm sure that you will recognize her.
Mother, I would like to smoke the pipe one day.
Someday.
You know, like, I want to make people feel better, but not as a doctor. You know, more like, you know, when I'll be there, I show them.
just thinking of
I'll be there, Mother.
and the way
I'll be there.
you look tonight.
There, you're asked to drink and swear, and you dance and sing,
But you're
and you can be everyone you want. There.
with your smile so warm
I'll have marvelous hair.
and your cheeks so soft.
You know, like in
There is
movies.
nothing for me but to love you.
Mama,
Just the way
can you
look
close the door, please?
tonight.
Wake me up. I'll be on time, I promise. Good night.
Just the way you look tonight.
Okay. Now we invaded you with a quiz. Must be some place somewhere, maybe there. With a lot of videos and images, bombing through images. This is also a kind of method that we use in NisemTu to bomb with datas and letting time after, really, to elaborate them after, not giving any answer. But let's do
Let's
an
imagine.
experiment, being magic, a little bit magic now with you. And
Put our hands on our eyes so that we cannot see. Nothing dangerous will happen, so I'm here.
all of you,
All of you.
Fox, I see you. Close your eyes.
Can you see me?
Fox can.
No. Okay. Okay. Please, everybody, still with closed eyes. Okay. I will show you something. Closed eyes. You can open your eyes. What was that?
Any idea? Don't you know what she's showing? No one. Sorry? Darkness.
Sincere.
Okay. No idea. So it was NisemTu. It was NisemTu. Some lack, didn't see. Yeah, well, it's a very stupid, and just for making a little warning, sample to say without perception, without organs to perceive. We have no idea what the reality is. Well, we need to see, in this case, to say that it is a button. There is a guy living in America. He's blind, total blind, 100% blind. He was born blind. But he has a peculiarity. If you throw him something against him, he avoids it. But he's blind. But if you tell him, please can you take this, is like he has to test around. How can this happen? Very simple. We see in at least three different steps. Let's say more, but we make it simple. 3 steps. The first is through our organ, our eye. And our organs are different, we know this. But anyway, if it works correctly, and these guys eye is working correctly. The data are coming into our brain, into his brain. And then into our brain, these data are crossing the subcortical part of the brain and are elaborated by the subcortical part of the brain. All the data that are coming into our body, before we realize that we are getting data, they are elaborated. And we react to them. So this guy has also this part of the brain that is working correctly. Just the cortex, the last part of the brain, in this point, it is devoted to elaborate the data for seeing, it's not working. So he doesn't know that he sees. He's total blind because he doesn't know that he sees. Without that part, we think that nothing is existing. If that part is not working, and this is very common, we are psychologically blind. If we decide, if our cortex decides that we have not to see something, we don't see, even if it is just in front of us. In his case, it is physiological. We will come back to this guy because it is a kind of key point. So let's see. Very shortly, something very simple, and sorry if most part of you, I suppose, knows very well. But let's put a question again to all of you.
What is this?
What is this? So now you see it. What is this?
Sun.
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 What is?
Picture.
A picture. What is this? No idea. Only two know.
Very hot
Very hot?
orange.
Orange. Senio. Zemia. Can anybody translate for me? Earth and fire. That's okay? So what, Silvia, do you feel able to say what you see exactly, or shall I say what we see?
I see a picture of the sun.
Yeah, this is the narrative interpretation.
I see the picture. I see a colored screen with something that reminds me of something I was told to be the sun.
This is quite more precise. I see something that is circular, but it is not, because there are a lot of points where this circle is not precise. And there are red, yellow spots here and there. And this is made by this projector on a screen. This is what we see. The sun, or every other answer, it is produced by our cortex. Before the cortex, you see just its elementary pieces, one by one. Let's see better how this happens, or some samples of this attitude we have always. I suppose that most part of you knows, especially Anya and Lily. Can I ask you again what you see? Two triangles. Anya, Lily. You know the answer. Huh?
Symbol.
Symbol. A symbol. Yeah. Again, you see, you are giving the cortical answer. You are interpreting this. What I see, what we see, are 6 elements, 3 by 3, similar, but not equal because they are rounded. And these elements, we could also say that each one of these elements is made, or in this case, for instance, by 2 elements. All together, they produce 2 triangles, like the sun before. But it is just a production of our brain. And this, what is this? E. Of course, you already know the trick. Now what I could say, oh no, it's not an E, you know, this line is blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, it's an E. But notice that we, all of us, we are producing this E, but the Chinese would not. So, it is not just physiological, it is also cultural sometimes, many times, what our brains are producing. And here, all of us that are so equal one with the other, we start more and more to be differentiated because of how our brain is working, because of our culture, in this case, for instance. In many cases, this is absolutely famous, in many cases we are totally confused. What is this? It's a woman, I suppose that all of us we agree. But which kind of woman is this?
Witch.
Sorry?
A witch.
A witch, yes. Please, young woman.
It could be both.
Could be both. So it is both a witch and young woman, depends by how we watch, we see it, which elements. This is the chin of the witch, and this is the chin of the young lady that is looking there. It's almost 100 years they are studying this image because it's producing so many suggestions and problems. One it is that it is ambiguous, these are called very famous ambiguous images. The most famous is this with the two faces or a cup, you know, black and white. And what we are unable to make is to see them together. We can see one or the other, never together. But it is also another interesting thing. It is not cultural, it is passional or some, how to say it, our personality is influencing, so somebody sees immediately witch, somebody sees immediately a young lady. The meaning, deep psychological meaning that these images have, the images they are producing our answers. And still again, more and more we are differentiating one from the other, being all the same. We've seen before the bottle that Sylvia showed you. Now I ask you, can you please image in your mind a bottle? Or can you tell me, if I say you bottle, which kind of bottle you see? Just 2-3 answers, please. Glass, plastic, square, round, liter, half a liter.
Green glass.
Green, glass. Please. Glass. Oh, okay, you're sick. You sit together. Elena.
Glass.
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 Oh, you three sit together.
Glass.
Better. I'm sure you will give a special answer. Sorry, he was thinking to something else.
About wine bottle.
Wine bottle. Okay, anyway, what I mean is that all of us, we can see, perceive, elaborate an image and say, okay, this is a bottle. But we have a lot of bottles in our mind, and these bottles are real like the bottle that we can touch and see. No question on this. These bottles are real, but they are only in our mind. And now, it's your turn.
Okay, now I'll ask you to do something really simple, but again with closed eyes, okay? It will be just something like this, okay? You just have to put your fingers as near as possible without looking. So you close your eyes before, and after you, without touching, you must put them as near as possible, and you don't open your eyes till we don't say it too.
If you touch, separate them and start
Yes,
again.
start again.
You must not touch, just be very, very close without
And don't
looking.
Yeah. Still closed eyes, that we are not, just hold it. It's good training, by the way. Okay.
Now watch, stay in that position and watch the result. Is it what you were expecting? Not at all. Not at all. So we have a lot of battles in our mind. If I close your eyes and I put in this position, I know that I'm in this position. But if you ask me, can you describe precisely your position? I will be so sure, oh, I'm in this position, but no. You see, we have an idea what is our position, which is our role in the space. Also, we are not so sure about what is the reality. And then, being back to the bottle again, it's a name, okay? I say bottle. Can you imagine a bottle? And you imagine a bottle, not a cat. If I say cat, you will imagine a cat. But a bottle, you react imagining a bottle, because we all agree that a bottle means that kind of object. If I say bottle to a German,
Flasche.
Slovene, Italian,
Bottiglia.
cigar, and so trees, a tree, brevo, baum, so different. If we have not a common field, no possibility of communication. This reality again disappears. My bottle, my tree, my cat are not your bottle, tree, and cat. Simply they are nothing if you don't know my language. Oh, so simple to now, not to understand. But let's see. Enjoy.
Okay. Raise your hands if you agree with me. We have two names. These names are Maluma and Takete. If I say this is Maluma, first one, how many agrees? Raise your hands. Maluma. So we all agree that this is Maluma.
No,
Almost.
Don't make it the contrary. And who is saying that it is
Yeah,
Takete?
this is Takete.
I'm sorry. Can we say that all of us, we see in this object, an object whose name could be Maluma and not Takete? Can we say this? Apart Anya, where is Anya? And you too, okay, and Anya, yeah. I remember, you are meeting, you know. She's one of them, she's two of the 1% of people, they reverse it. But this is, of course, possible. But the question is why? Why Maluma? This rounded thing, and why Takete, this thing full of triangles and corners? Why?
Because of the letters.
Because of the letters. But look, this, it is again, this image was made the first time in 1920. 95 years ago, and 95 years long, we are studying how it works. Okay, this is, I know the answer. Chinese is also the same. Arabic people also. It doesn't matter the alphabet they have, the language we have. They say Maluma Takete as all the others. So this is very universal. How can this happen? This happens because, as I told you, they're still investigating, but it looks that it is coming from very, very, very ancient times, when we were starting to emitting sounds. And a very typical sound of the baby, the little child, taking the milk is called modulation. It is making and so somehow along the times we connected a pleasure with this sound, with making and then mammals, mother in many languages, not all of course, So there is a kind of main that is crossed. This is kind of sample, a kind of explanation. But it is not so easy. Just to tell you, it depends from situations. For instance, Sylvia, okay, a baby is taking the making, but if I would like to communicate that I am enjoying, but no, I have just this word, this moo, and I'm angry.
Angry.
Yeah, angry. And happy. So, depends from intonation, from the circumstances, for a lot of things. The same sound, the same word. So, have you seen how many different things we have seen? The last one, just to say, okay, look, this is not just our problem. I show you a piece of art, one of the best pieces I ever collected. From Kyle Jenkins, from East Village in the 80s. He was producing this kind of animals. And I bought the right one. This one. And I made a show, made an exhibition in my gallery in Milan. And I had a very beautiful, sweet, lovely Newfoundland, a dog, so sweet. And when my Panta, she came into the gallery, I have seen this dog standing in a room in the gallery. She stopped and she was really alarmed. She started to make not totally alarmed. What is this? What dog is this? It's no smell. But it's a dog. She recognized a dog. We can see that it's fake. This face is not the face of a dog. It is a kind of humanization. Of course, the other is a total crazy. So easy to see. It is a sculpture, it is something. It is for sure not a living dog. But for my dog, it was looking with her nose and little bit with eyes. She was not looking the eyes so much. She was saying, what is this shape that is like a shape of a dog, but has no smell of a dog? And she was alarmed, scared. Didn't know if being aggressive or escape or what.
But never imagine how your dog actually saw the world, huh? Can you imagine like a little poop on the floor? For her maybe it was something enormous, can you imagine? Because if you're smelling so developed, it must be really something, an enormous mountain. Or maybe a woman with marvelous Chanel perfume is something really, something really, not pleasant.
Beautiful piece of shit.
But a beautiful piece of shit. Yeah. Or such a piece of meat closed in some bag. It's wow, it's enormous. So
can we
so
make
maybe,
a experiment, please? I spent a lot of time to convince her that she could be.
I feel different. Yeah.
Why?
It's like I'm more them. It's like I smell them and I have something of them inside of me. Yeah.
Of course. A lot of molecules are inside you. And they were only to you till a few seconds ago. Now they are part of her body. They became Sylvia. So where is the separation? We are breathing in this room all together, and we are exchanging each other continuously, our molecules. So we are so different, but where is the limit? On this point, we start to see something. Okay, good question. Huh? So this is the environment in which we live. 13 millions and 13 billions and 700 millions of light years. And then, what is there? We don't know. We conceive less, of course. We can see, as you have seen, a part, about 74% of our universe. We can conceive the rest, and then what is out we don't. We are simply unable to conceive it. So, we are immersed in this vastity, but let's look on the other side, totally on the other side, we reverse. You know how is made an atom? It is made, or as we know, we have our nucleus, protons and neutrons, and around we are the electrons. So what do you think if this chest of mine, it is a small chest, would be a nucleus? Where is the closest electron right now of every kind of atom in the universe? Which is the, where is here in Ljubljana? If it would be in here or in the castle, let's say, where is the next electron? Anybody who knows? I will show you. Here we are, in this universe. Here is my chest in the castle, and here is the electron, 4 kilometers far from me. And here inside, there is a, how we can call it, vacuum. What else is it? We will see if it is vacuum or what. What I can tell you is just one interesting observation. If we would eliminate all this so-called vacuum between nucleuses and electrons of the humanity, 7 billions of people around, the humanity would be so big. So this dimension of the universe is a very vast dimension. But if we consider what we consider to be the matter, the real substance of things, we start to say, where is exactly the limit? Where is the, how is really made this? I would like to tell you something about my passion, years and years long, one of my many passions, after the beginning, of course. It is neutrinos. I love neutrinos. You know what is a neutrino? A neutrino is a very, very small particle. It has a mass that is from 100,000 to 1 million times smaller than an electron. It has very peculiar activities. It obeys to the gravity, very little, but it doesn't obey to other physical laws. It just crosses everything. Everything. To stop a neutrino, is calculated that it is needed a wall made of lead 1 light year deep. And then you will stop half of the neutrinos, not all. And how many are these neutrinos? For every electron, proton, neutron, every basic particle we have, 1 billion. 1 billion. In this moment, 1 billion of neutrinos for each particle of our bodies, of our air, our buildings, are crossing us. Impossible to stop them. If it would be a dog that instead of sniffy smells would sniff neutrinos, what he would see? Nothing. There is no solution of continuity. But we are, in our world, we are saying, no, come on, Andrea. Dog, cat, Andrea, Grega, so we are distinguishing things per people and so on. So let me just show you the first time I started to show how it is possible that this system is managed by us. It was in New York about 30 years ago. I had still a bar, black, and I was black hair.
Tonight I want you to go from nowhere to now here. Yeah. Now here. Nowhere.
I was a joyful man those years. But being a little just more serious again, our bottle. No? How can you say bottle? Okay, we agree that the bottle is a bottle, this is a bottle, you have a bottle in your hand. From the point of view of neutrinos, this is a little. How can I say bottle? Because my mind is separating this bottle from the rest of the universe. In some place in my mind, this bottle is not part of the rest of the universe, it's separated. But we said, okay, but there is no solution of continuity, no separation. So what I created a real vacuum through a world. But vacuum doesn't exist, but I created it. I delimited this bottle from the rest of the universe. And the only way to do it in something that has no solution of continuity is to create the vacuum. So my mind is creative, creating the vacuum. Denying what is existing. Saying, here is a limit, this is not. Maybe you...
I think you're not so original. I think we heard already the story. Yeah, I think.
You already?
Yeah, I will just remind everybody.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Let me.
It's kind of old, yeah. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. And without Him was not anything made that was made.
Who said this?
Yeah, some John for friends.
John.
Yeah.
John.
And God said, let there be light, fiat lux, and there was light.
And through light, everybody could see objects. And who
That
said
they need
this?
for-
The Bible is supposed.
Yeah, it's wrote in some
the Bible.
Genesis.
So do you mean that all what I'm saying is not at all original? In all the times, in all the cultures, in every religion, in every philosophy, it is said the same. But we are so tested that we say, no, I am. In the moment I say I am killing myself. I'm separating from the rest of the universe. This is the reason I ask not to be introduced. I never want to be introduced because I don't want to say, oh, this is. Then I say, oh, I am Andrea Murnik, and I die. I'm separated from you. But through the molecules, we are not separated, so it is really confusing, no, this situation. But what we fix right now, it is, where is the key? The key is creating the non-matter, the vacuum, or what else, the idea of vacuum. So it is more than vacuum, it is the idea of vacuum. It's really not existing. So let's see how this can be adopted, used.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Live, and now, as a special treat on our first show, musical guest, Andy Kaufman.
What's wrong with this guy?
dead air.
Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound. Here I come to save the day. That means a tiny mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, he gets the situation well in hand.
So though we are in danger, we never despair, 'cause we know that where there's danger, he is there.
He is there on the land, on the sea, in the air. We're not worrying at all. We're just listening for his call. Here I come to save the day. That's just the mighty mouse is on the way.
Did you get your attention? Yes. Yes, silence. Not acting, not doing. Keeping away instead of putting words, images, and so on. Creating the vacuum inside our actions. Just being silent, as he was. He got attention because, of course, in that situation, everybody is expecting that he will make something. And he is playing to be so embarrassed, so unable, that everybody is really a little anxious that something happens. So attention was caught. Did you who noticed that there were 4 words that appeared? What he made was applying a formula that is called AIDA. It is a universal formula for communication, and it was invented in marketing system to sell, how to connect with people. Now we have P&L, but in the beginning it was AIDA. Attention, interest, desire, action. These are the 4 steps of every kind of successful communication. He was getting attention through the silence. Then he finally succeeded in making something, singing, and so people were relaxed and they were interested. Okay, now let's see, finally he succeeded. Now, what he will do? And then he was waiting his turn, his moment, and this moment was not coming. This music was continuing, so drinking. And, okay, now I'm ready. And everybody in the public was participating and said, okay, now you will sing. Okay, again, no? Let's see what you will sing. And he couldn't. In that moment, he snapped the desire of the public. I desire, I wish that you make something, that you are successful, that you will succeed in doing what you want. But then simply, just at one moment, he sings again. You could expect that he's not more singing. No, he sings, and it is the action. He completed. I want to, this is a wonderful movie, Man on the Moon, but let's be more classic, and we see something very shortly from Wim Wenders. he remained angel, he listens our voices, our thoughts, and he was separated by Daniel that obtained to become human. Sorry? Okay. Now you know. So you see now I invite you to find the formula item.
Non è vittima di incidenti per strada, ma
After the moment I will point my finger.
La pizza d'accadora di ma ole me ari arazza chiccola rida avacado yamma zaccarara di lamma giamma da di furicula appadara di rambariccarira e la razza chicca moda azabada tu giungarazza te calizzo tutto da zabada pu la rapazzatezza cozza pula ababada pu.
Found? So I need to tell you, to tell you that nobody can see the angels apart the children. So Cassiel, the blonde one, couldn't be seen by anybody. Daniel that became a man, a human being, he was so happy every day, singing something that people in Naples could really die, furicula, in that way it can be like a suicide.
So we found it.
We found.
We found it. I don't know.
Did you?
We find.
Any idea? Where is the eye, the formula? Attention, interest, desire, action. In 40 seconds, Wim Wenders was so able to tell a story to us, complete story, inside a long movie. And this long movie is made, I will repeat. Just that part. So he is listening. The thoughts of people. Attention.
He hears something. Something
Hearing
no.
the voice that he knows, and he's smiling from it.
Interest.
He came to the bicycle, but look at the face. What is fucking singing this guy? Oh, this is but interested anyway because he's now on the bike.
Desire starts to enjoy.
He's starting to say, oh, it's so bad. Yeah, oh, okay. He smiles, he started to follow the rhythm. In this moment, Wim Wenders is telling, just in 1 second, is telling, in that moment, Cassiel got the idea, oh, could be really good to be a human being.
And action.
Can angel, nobody's seen an angel. So he's so imaginated in being a human being, then there is that action. I turn right. We created photos, we created speeches, stories through the vacuum, but the main point is another. What a creative person is telling, what is the content, which is the content, what is inside these creations. If it is something that we have to be practical inside the society, we say, okay, red light, stop, green light, go, blah, blah, it is easy. We are creating this idea of red and green and so, but we can agree on this easily. But if we are trying to transmitting ideas, poetry or something else, through creating this vacuum around these ideas, how can I, human being, total isolated from the others, and we said, we are so equal but so different. We don't see the same things. We don't think the same things. We cannot act in the same way. So my universe is my only universe. Sylvia's universe is her only universe. How these universes can communicate? How can I give her the idea of my poetry? Where is the common field? This, when we made the first workshop in Ljubljana, we were starting to investigate. Remember, we said we were looking for the common points. This evening we will tell where are these common points. After, thanks also to people from Milan, we were able the group. So it is so easy, like every simple answer. Emotions. What we have in common, all of us, what is universal in human beings and also in animals? Emotions. But let me just be more precise with the word emotions. The word emotions is not feelings. Feelings are coming after the emotions, are produced in consequence of the emotions, exactly, and also in the same physiological system, like the data that we are perceiving, they become thoughts. They become idea of images and so on. So, after elaboration in our cortex, we produce feelings. But before, we are like the blind that doesn't know that he sees. There is that point where emotions are elaborated. They are in an undercortical system. When they come to the cortex, then they are elaborated. But we react to everything, to every object, to every environment, to everything, to every word, to every idea with emotions. This is so natural. Every baby, as he is born, he starts to shows the reaction to his emotions. Normally it is just angriness or happiness, very simple. Then they become more and more. But then there is a moment when the society, the environment tells him it's better not to show too much your emotions because you are weak, you are vulnerable. So at 6 years we learn not to show, not to cry, not to show our emotions because it's dangerous. But if emotions are the only common things that we have, how can we communicate with another individual, human being? Not a society. With a society, okay, but with a human being, I want to communicate either than through emotions. This is the only key. It is so simple. When we fall in love, okay, the rules of the society are telling us, look, you must look smart, intelligent, rich, and so we are lying as much as possible to try to get attention, to be appreciated. Then, okay, she or he falls in love, a big love starts, and then what we start to claim? You must recognize me for what I am. Shit, I lied till yesterday, and now I pretend that you recognize me for what I am. Inside myself, my emotions, you must respect my emotions. So simple. When we are artists, but also lawyers, gallerists, whoever is working in the creative field, a notar, we must consider that we are dealing with emotions if we want. These are the words of our communication with the others. No other chance. Otherwise, we have walls around, we are so able to hide everything. So much that we lie to ourselves. We don't show our emotions to ourselves. We don't admit, we hide, we deny that we have emotions. So dangerous it is, so scared we are by something that is not recognizable, something that is alien, something that is different from us. And it is so deep inside us. There is an activity in human beings that is long like the humanity in terms of time that solves this problem. But before about the universality of emotions, let me just make a simple sample and also considering what we talk about tiger.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Nobody knows where my Johnny has gone, but Judy left the same time. Why was he holding her hand when he's supposed to be mine? It's my party and I'll cry.
Sometimes we blame ourselves when we are alone, but many times also when we are not alone. And who is solving this problem? Art. Only a guy that is able to be naked in front of us and putting his emotions in some object, in something, in some action. Then, if we are so humble and so naked also to read what he presented to us, then we can communicate with this object that is like a mirror. We are communicating with ourselves. And we discover that inside ourselves, in this deepness, there are horrible things. We are monsters, but we are monsters like the others. So we are not alone. That is what really is scary everybody.
Yeah, in the meantime, I want to share something that it's a poem. It's a poem by Andrea. I should not say that is a poem because he likes to say that it's music arrangement for dance steps. And it's a poem that is connecting to this emotion that we were talking about. So, if I may, Andrea, I will.
If you really like.
I do what I do because I feel to do it with goodness. I like to do it till vomiting of joy. This is a poem that I choose because I think it really connects with what we were just talking about. That's what an artist is trying to do all his life. Most of the time not succeeding, but sometimes we succeed. We are trying to go back to this natural level where we are free to share our emotions. And someone also likes to write music arrangements for dance steps.
Okay, let me answer with another arrangement in this case, and will be very short also. Whose title is Eternal Passion. As a child, even after a little more than a child, even after and after and after and after and after all my life long, I have done and experienced things with a passion that only I know, and that nobody else might not even suspect. I bought a disc. One night, I loved a woman, only that time, but I really loved her. I have experienced something only applied to others. I commiserated myself. I felt a part of night and sky. I felt the thrill of rowing on smooth waters. I felt that I would have died within a few seconds. I ran at breakneck speed. I felt to be nothing. I felt to be a god. No, indeed, I was a god. I contemplated a turf of grass in a meadow. I stared at the moon until it entered into me. I cried for the pain of my son. I talked to the trees. I was happy because a tramp showed the number of my years, 8. I listened again the disc about 20 years ago, and I felt the same emotions, intact, unique, immutable, like me and like you. So this is my contribution with these arrangements. But let's finish now with the last video, that is emotions. Okay, that's all, guys. I thank you very much for your attention. We crossed thousands rooms. Let me say that I am very grateful to Sylvia because she was, you don't know how passionate she was with such a beast like I am. And so brave and good. And thank you to the Institute for the hospitality, and thank you especially to you for your patience.
Let's cross another door.
Let's cross another door and going to enjoy in another way, but be intimate. Thank you so much. This is an emotion.
Электромузыкальный инструмент терминвокс – это первый инструмент такого типа. Это песенно-голосовой инструмент. В нем управление мелодией достигается посредством влияния на электромагнитное поле около инструмента.
Mm-hmm.